Well, I mean, what am I going to say about this? Here we are in little old 2293, but we queued up at the same time 1960 and 1093 queued up, and so we're fighting them in KvK. That's right, it's going to be a 1960 versus 1093 KvK, and Sip has a front row seat as the highest power high KP player in the bottom left camp. That's me on my restart account. So this is going to be an interesting KvK. When you get a look at all the stats, the top camp has 90.7 billion power and 7.948 trillion kill points. I say this only half jokingly, but of course somehow they have a KP and power advantage. Of course they do. What are we talking about? Of course. Bottom camp, 84 billion power and 7 trillion kill points. Anyways, it is kind of funny. I wonder whoever drew up this map, what they intended the ally situation to look like. I mean, this is close enough that everybody kind of does a hand wavy thing and says, well, good enough. It's pretty close. Let's run it. But like... what do I want to say? Whatever I say, I'm gonna get flamed. It's like I may as well just speak my mind because people are gonna say they're whatever they have to say, regardless of what I actually do or do not say as my messages, right? So yeah, I do think that if anyone in the game had to go fight 1960, it was 1093. I mean, literally 2377 just lost to them. Somehow people think that we want to go queue into them right away. No. Like, for obvious reasons, no. Like, as a kingdom, we're obviously not ready to do that. Like, no. Okay, so it had to be 1093. And so if they've got the stones to go fight them, I've got the stones to go fight them. In my little restart account that only fields 5 marches, bro. Oh, God. So a couple things that are interesting about this matchmaking. First of all, the war camps have 5 kingdoms in them. Not 2, not 3, not 4. They put 5 kingdoms in the side war camps, which is actually wow. Okay, wow. And 1093 gets a campmate in 2027. So let's talk about what the heck's going on this map, okay? So in the upper left, you've got 1960 with a domain power of 37 billion and 4.6 trillion kill points. Okay, sure. Their ally in the upper right, no. Let's go down here. Look, the thing I like about this matchmaking is it was very obviously designed for 1960 and 1093 to not ally, right? Like, this is, like, very obviously the way this is set up is 1960 is supposed to fight 1093. Now, why it is that they're not right next to each other so that, like, they can slug it out instead of us little guys having to basically, like, eat dog doo-doo against their marches... whatever. But like, we basically are going to have to fight 1960 all the way up into Kingsland, even, right? Like, into Kingsland. Maybe they'll do a switcheroo, where they build forts on each other's sides or something. And that's not the case, but like, I really hope that they do that. Let me talk about this for a second. I would really love to see, 1960 and 1093 agree to some sort of fort switcheroo in the zone 6s so that, like, dude, they can fight each other head to head in Kingsland instead of like having to fight the 5, A and are they B seed kingdoms? C seed? I don't actually know. Right? I don't actually know. So 1093 as a kingdom is in a solid spot because they have multiple alliances, 2.2 trillion kill points and 1.4 trillion kill points, 14 billion and 11 billion power. Okay, light on power for sure, on a per player basis, but they have more players. That's like the design of 1093. That's always been the design of 1093. And then over here, a 7.6 billion power addition with, 400 billion kill points. I don't know how much an alliance like that can swing into an alliance like 960, but as long as they're filling and contributing, Like 1093's job is to carry that. And if they can just fit into the mold of how 1093 is operating, that's a W, right? If they can step up to that plate of fighting, the game's actual overdog, 1960. Sure. I mean, they're 7.6 billion power. Like, of course they should be able to do that, right? Okay. So their total domain power is 37.6 billion. All right. 37.6 billion domain power, which actually is very close to 1960, right? Like they are slightly up on power and below them on KP. Could they have put a camp in here that helps them match the KP and match the power? I mean, match the power is really tricky and match the KP. That's probably very tough to do. Whatever. Then we go to the A seed, or I don't even know what these are. Are there Imperiums? We'll look in game. Maybe there's some Imperiums here. I should probably know that before I film this video. In fact, I think 1818 might be an Imperium. So 960 has the strongest other ally on the map, besides 1093. Okay. And that's 1818 because they have the most power, 14.5 billion, and the most KP, 1.5 trillion. In that camp, there's also BBX, 12.5 billion and 565 billion kill points. Then MCN, 7.7 billion and 487 billion kill points. Also, 3A13, 3G13, 14.3 billion power, but 362 billion kill points. That's a lot of power for such like a low KP number. I have no clue how these camps are going to perform, right? This is, by the way, always kind of been what makes Rise of Kingdoms interesting and KvK's interesting, is that you can hypothesize what's going to happen, but no one really knows. Like, I would look at not knowing anything other than the data in front of me. 14.3 billion power with 362 billion kill points. And I would say, like, either they fill and recover troops, or there's a lot of dead weight there potentially, right? Like, I have no clue how to interpret that information. I mean, 3A13 has 10.6 billion power, but 50 billion kill points. Did they forget a zero in there? How is that possible? I don't know, man. This KvK is going to be wacky. Like, how these kingdoms are going to come together. This is so unlike the KvK I'm fighting now, 2v7, where, like, it's A seeds and Imperiums all ganging up on, 2377. What is it? What do you make of a kingdom that has 10.6 billion power and 50.7 billion KP? Like, did they literally just get to Season of Conquest? Would that be even low for just getting to SOC? I'm not trying to insult anybody. Like, I just died. Like, how do you interpret this? Okay. Then there's our war camp. All right. SIP is 12.9 billion power and almost a trillion kill points. 86N, 12.5 billion power, 748 billion kill points. OV74 at 10.8 billion power and 554 billion kill points. 75 DC from 2975, 6.5 billion power, 6.5 billion power. But hey, somehow they've got 455 billion kill points. And then 62Y S, 9.1 billion power and 300 billion kill points. I don't know, man. So the side camps, it's 68.5 billion power versus our 51.7 billion power. Okay. And then 3.4 trillion kill points to our 3 trillion kill points. Who knows? The net getting to the sort of sum of it all is that 960 has a power and a KP advantage. But this is fine, chat. This is fine. I'm not in a room that's lighting on fire because I'm here with 1093. So it's going to be fine. I've actually never allied 1093 at any moment in time, so this is going to get interesting. This is going to be a really interesting KvK. Look, I can poke fun at things, and you know my perspective on, you got to do what it takes if you're going to fight 1960 or don't queue into 1960. And like our kingdom queued into 1960. So like if they expected anything less than what's here, like then they should have listened to all the things I've been saying for forever. Since the dawn of time. So, I mean, like, hey, I can't complain. We queued into this. We had to know what we were signing up for, because like I couldn't have said more, not without being even more annoying about it. So yeah, here we are. I'm going to fight 1960, and I'm going to give it my 100%, obviously. And, 1093 is going to lock in. We're going to lock in with them. SIP has been on a winning spree that is insane. The only Season of Conquest KvKs we have lost since being in 2293, which we've been there for like 10 KvKs, was when we queued for Nile KvK, and we felt like the matchmaking it was literally impossible. The community looked at it and said, you're gonna lose. It's obvious, anyone can see it. And like, yeah, I mean, like we were fighting big Imperiums. I don't know how we got matched them. Unreal. We generally win in 2293, but also 1960 always wins. So is this one of those situations where we queued into somebody bigger than us and now we're gonna find out? Subscribe. We'll all find out together. GG. This should be it's going to be an interesting one, chat. You want to see the last time I fought 1960 and what I said about that? And I think I have a video about that. I think I have 2 videos about that, where I basically advise exactly, like, here is the things that must be true if you're going to queue into this. Check the cards over here. I mean, like, I've said it for years. So if you queue into them and don't know what you're doing, then you didn't know what you were doing. GG. Good luck, everybody. This is going to be a KvK, all right.